Good evening. This is Luke Revan, manager here at East Brandywine Township. I'm addressing you in my capacity as the online moderator of this regular session of the Board of Supervisors. Due to the coronavirus pandemic and to protect the health and safety of Township officials and our residents, the Board is conducting this meeting by webinar. This meeting is being recorded and will be rebroadcast on the Township's YouTube channel. Public notice of this meeting was posted on our Township website consistent with Act 15 of 2020. The agenda for this meeting was also posted at ebrandywine.org/agenda center and is also visible on your screen. Members of the public can hear us, but your own phones and computer microphones are muted, so we cannot hear you. To enable an organized meeting, we're using the following procedure. As with in-person meetings, I ask that all participants wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking and that all comments be directed to the chairman. To be recognized, you must first ask me, in my capacity as the moderator of this webinar, to unmute your audio connection. This may be done at any time via the chat feature located on the left side of your screen. Each person recognized by the chairman should state their name and their address before posing a question. I'll now turn the meeting over to Chairman Winters.
Good evening. Welcome to the East Brandywine Township's Board of Supervisors regular session, April 15th. Thank you, Luke. Let's go to public comment for agenda items.
Okay, let's give it a moment, see if anybody, we've got a fuller house here than usual. Anybody who's interested in speaking on agenda items, please use the attendee chat feature to get my attention. Mr. Chairman, there are no individuals seeking to be recognized for public comment on agenda items.
Thank you, Luke. Moving on then, the minutes of previous meetings. There are none to be approved. Treasurer's report and authorization to pay bills.
I have a question on the treasurer's report. I was looking through all the reports this month, and I guess the one thing I couldn't find was, Luke, I couldn't find the tax collector's account. I remember previous years going to meetings, and I believe the tax collector's, account was reported, within our full financial picture, because there's got to be, money in there tax collected. Am I missing it somewhere? Do you know?
Yes. Go ahead, Luke.
The tax collector makes monthly distributions to multiple funds, always on the last day of each calendar month. Those deposits are to the Fire Services Fund, to the Solid Waste Fund, and to the Capital Fund. However, we do not reconcile or maintain an asset account for the tax collector's account. So I
realize, well, no, I guess what I'm saying is I realize that at the end of the month, he distributes what's in his account to various other, accounts. I guess my question is, I don't know what he's got unless I text him, whatever, but he's got money that probably is not right now being reflected in what our current financial looks like as of this point. That's all.
Okay, so so are you suggesting, like, on the balance sheet, which appears in your packet as BOS packet page number 3, one of the assets should be the tax collector's account?
I believe so, because it's money that we have, and I can text Dennis to see what it is, but it's money that we have, and it's in our possession, and it reflects, could be a little bit, could be a lot. Let me just text him, but I think it should be shown, because when it gets distributed, it's shown, of course, in other accounts.
It is, and I'm not saying that it's not possible to add it as the asset, but I would point out that, unlike the other bank accounts that we have, no
right?
member of staff or member of the board is a signator on the tax collector's account. That's an individual account.
Yeah, but is it, yeah, I understand that, but is it something, because I think in the past, the amount was shown in the financial, and I guess it's something that he would have to give to our treasurer in order to put in.
That's
Because I think,
exactly
right,
correct.
pardon me?
That's exactly correct. I'm saying that we don't do the monthly reconciliations on that account. So, and
Right.
we also don't have online access to view that balance. So, if we were to add it to the assets list, it would just need to be a monthly report from the tax collector to staff.
Yeah, it's a figure that he would give, because I think right now, he might have over $1 million in that account based on collecting taxes now, March being a heavy month, April being a heavy month. And I'm just saying, I think it understates our financial picture, that's all. In fact, here's his text, I just got it. He has 1.6 million in his account. So all I'm
And
just saying, I think every month, if we're doing financials, you know, in the night sessions, I think we should ask him or the secretary, the treasurer, and he get together, because 1.6 is a lot of money that's not reflected in here right now. That's all.
it is. I think I appreciate the suggestion.
Okay.
I would point out that that kind of balance is atypical for most of the calendar year. He's going to have a lot of money in May and April and June and a little
Okay.
bit in March, but the cycle is such that the deposits in the remainder of the year are much smaller.
Right. But that truly reflects what our picture looks like as of this point in time. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Okay.
All right. And the approval of the bills, to pay the bills. Kyle, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain from checks to Eastburn and Gray, check number 162, check number 26967, and checks to Rudolph Clark LLC 26963. Other than I'm fine, you guys can make your motion. I'll approve all but those three.
Okay, noted. Do I have a motion to approve all of the bills
I'll make a motion to approve all the bills.
as presented? I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to the reports of the Township Manager's Report, the Building Inspector's Report, the Township Roadmaster's Report, and East Brandywine Township Police Department's Report for March 2021. I so move.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Moving on to new business. Eagle Scout project proposal.
Jason?
East Brandywine. Yes.
Um,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry,
far-
Joe. I'm sorry. I always forget. Joe, I always forget that you want to personally. I'm sorry.
Right,
Let's
right.
let's go to Joe. Let's go back to Joe for the East Brandywine Fire Company's report.
Thank you, good gentlemen. The fire company's report is we had 42 total incidents for the month, 29 fire calls, 13 medical calls, 9 fire calls in East Brandywine Township, and 9 medical calls in East Brandywine Township. We had 3 training sessions with an average number of people of 21, and we had an average of 11 people responding to the fire calls. What I wanted to bring to everybody's attention is what's going on at the station, which is a high level of excitement. If you drive by the parking lot, you can see the parking lot starting to be assembled, preparing for what hopefully will pass later tonight with the go-ahead to start with our renovation project. Exciting news also is 2 East Brandywine residents have approached the fire company and wanted to assist us in fundraising for the building. And they've already organized a fundraiser for May 16th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Stolen Sun Brewery in Exton. All proceeds are going to go to the fire company, and the 2 young ladies are kicking off the campaign as a big fundraising event. There will be silent auctions there. Proceeds from the food and sales will go to the fire company. Also, the residents of East Brandywine Township can look forward to, residents actually of all our first coverage area, East Brandywine, West Brandywine, and Upper Euclid, can look forward to us kicking off our building campaign. There's a lot of opportunities to donate to the fire company building fund at different levels and different ways that you will be recognized with your contribution to the fire company. All things that we're hopefully excited that every township resident will embrace and help us out with. Like I said, the excitement level is at all-time high down there. Some of the minor things have already kicked off, and after tonight, and we get our permits, then we believe there'll be 20 people on site each day with total renovations taking place, with still a goal of December as the final completion. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to ask or answer them if I could at this time.
I have no questions. Do you have any questions?
Are you able to identify the two individuals from our township that got this brewery night going to raise funds?
Hold on one second, George. Let me look and see if I have that. I should. They're from Tradition Lane. I can tell you that much.
Okay. Two different households, right?
Yeah, two ladies who are fundraising entrepreneurs who that is their expertise. I'm sorry, George, I don't have their names right now.
It's okay.
But, they actually approached us and they met with the executive board at the firehouse last night to see the project, and they're really excited to help us all the way through it.
So they're going to do the whole year campaign, and this is the first kickoff event.
Kickoff is that event I was telling you about, and they're going to hold different events throughout the entire year in hopes of helping to raise money for the building campaign.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Joe. Moving on now to new business, the Eagle Scout project proposal for the East Brandywine Community Park, which is the waste container rehabilitation. Mr. Winterbottom.
Yeah, this is actually Luke Revin again. I'm having some difficulty promoting Tyler to be a speaker. We use the same platform to communicate at a Parks and Rec meeting on the 5th. And Tyler, if you can hear me, we'll come back to you, but I need you to use the same device you used to connect in for the Parks and Rec meeting, so I can promote you to a speaker and you can share your slides. Thank you.
This one is no longer. I guess we're coming back to Tyler, right?
Yeah, I would.
Fine.
Yeah, he's confirmed he's going to try to switch over. And actually, the next agenda item will be tabled. This one indefinitely as well. Tax collector Dennis Mulhern had asked the board to consider appointing a deputy tax collector. He has withdrawn that request, so I would respectfully ask the board to table agenda item 7B.
Okay. So we're going to go back. Okay. Let's go to the next one on the agenda would be the police personnel matter. Chief, could it be?
Hi, good evening. I hope everyone's doing well. As you're aware, Sergeant Glenn Mooney had earlier requested to file for an early retirement under the Township Police Pension Plan. The retirement agreement and release were put together by our Police Labor Council. It was reviewed by yourselves and forwarded to Sergeant Mooney's Council and Police Association for review. Both Sergeant Mooney and the Police Association signed the agreement on April 7th. And as required by the agreement, there was a 7-day waiting period, and that period expired yesterday. So I would respectfully request the board to make a motion, vote, and authorize the early retirement and release agreement.
Any discussion? You guys okay with it?
Yeah, I have no questions about it.
I'm good.
So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, Okay, moving on now to the East Brandywine Fire Company's request for the fee waiver for the demolition permit relating to the 2021 station renovation project. Luke?
Yes, thank you. As Deputy Chief Edwards had indicated earlier this evening, they're at the first stages of implementing their plan for a comprehensive renovation project for the fire station in Guthrie'sville Village. The first matter that has required a permit, which is a demolition permit for the removal of a decommissioned septic tank, has been received by the township and processed, and that permit has incurred its first fee. Fire company is requesting that the township consider waiving the fees associated with this project because the township is a financial partner in this project, and doing so would leverage the township's investment to go further towards improvements. Is that a fair statement of the fire company's position, Deputy Chief?
Yeah, that's absolutely a fair statement. It's a joint venture. This is to better the community, also to help the township. And wherever we could save cost, it would be appreciated. If the board would be so inclined to waive the fees, I know that it would go a long way in helping us continue on with the project.
The permit in question is for $379.50. It's a demolition permit, and I would further respectfully ask if it's the board's desire to waive fees pertaining to the renovation project, that your motion include reference to future fees, so that we can, when the commercial building permit fee comes in and the like, we can just proceed rapidly.
Okay. I'll make a motion if there are no other questions.
I have no
You
question.
good, Kyle?
I'm good.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we waive the demolition permit and future permit fees for the fire department's project, 2021 station renovation project.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I was going to say, he'll keep us up to date on progress, I'm sure, every month, so.
Yeah, he's
Fine.
still here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every month, I'm sure you're going to give us progress reports, right?
Absolutely. And one of the bigger things, even though, is to have all three of you folks and Luke come down to the station and see what's going on down there. You know, we could once a month show you guys how far it's gone. It's very exciting for all of us.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Moving on now to subdivision and zoning applications. There's one decision for conditional use hearing for the BSA, the BAPS Northeast. Mr. Jonas?
Good evening. The Board of Supervisors held a conditional use hearing on March 18th of this year with regard to the property at 1155 and 1157 Horseshoe Pike. This was for a conditional use application. A conditional use is, in fact, a form of permitted use. The board heard the evidence presented by the applicant. There were no objectors. We have prepared a draft letter setting forth a series of conditions. These conditions are extracted from reviews and recommendations by the township consultants, the township engineer, the traffic engineer, as well as the planning commission. We sent a draft to counsel for the applicant, advising them this was a draft from our office only and that it had not been reviewed or approved by the Board of Supervisors. We have received no comment at all about the proposed letter. So our recommendation is that the letter that we have drafted that sets forth 17 conditions based upon the evidence presented and conditions that have been accepted by the applicant, that the board vote to approve the application and authorize us to send out this notice of decision.
Do you have anything?
I have no questions.
None.
None? Neither do I. I'm good. Do we have a motion? I can't do it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You want. Doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use application, from the BAPS, Northeast, private located at 1155 and 1157 Horseshoe Pike, Township parcels 30-5-70.1 and 30-5-70.2, with the understanding that they will comply with the letter with conditions, which was just stated by our solicitor, Mr. Jonas.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
All right, moving on now to ordinances and resolutions for consideration. Ordinance 2 of 2021 authorizing execution of a cable franchise agreement between the Township and Verizon. Luke?
Sure. The last time this appeared on your agenda, staff sought the board's permission to advertise an ordinance. That ordinance is ready to be adopted tonight if it's the board's desire to do so. It authorizes staff to enter into a new cable franchise agreement with Verizon. This new franchise agreement was part of collective action done by a number of Chester County municipalities using the Cohen law firm. Included in your packet is an executive summary of the changes and the franchise agreement itself, as well as the ordinance for consideration this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have none.
I don't either.
I have no questions.
Then I will make a motion that we enact or we accept ordinance 2 of 2021, which authorizes the execution of a cable franchise agreement between the Township and Verizon.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on now. Thank you, Luke. Moving on now to public comment on non-agenda items.
I believe that Tyler is back. Why don't we bounce back to the Boy Scout, Eagle Scout?
Right. Tyler has indicated using the chat feature he has rejoined. I will say I'm still unable to promote him to be a speaker. If he has, I'm actually thoroughly perplexed because this worked not 10 days ago. This software is not friendly to tablets, and in particular, not friendly to Apple products. So that may be the problem. Tyler, if you can hear me, the device you used 2 weeks ago worked just fine, and I don't think anything else will.
Luke, is he able to call in for a phone conversation to discuss it rather than doing the slideshow?
Yeah, that's an
All right.
alternative.
So just a thought. If you guys are okay with this, go on to the non-agenda items, and then we can kick back to them while we're waiting.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
So I just have two quick housekeeping non-agenda items. The first of which we talked about just a few weeks ago. That was the Hopewell Traffic concern, and there was a discrepancy on the numbers given by the traffic engineer. And Luke, you were going to look into, and I wanted to get some answers for the HOA, Hopewell residents on this. There was two different numbers given during that presentation. One was between 400 and 500, and an additional one was 800 pre-COVID. And there seems to be some discrepancy from Hopewell representatives versus our traffic engineer on where there was a double the number.
Okay.
You were going to talk to Andrew Hondrick about that?
I have not done so.
Okay. Can we make that a priority? Because I told them that we would have an answer for them. That was again, I'm trying to give you my best. I wasn't there that evening, but that was there was two numbers given that Hondrick had given a number to the representatives of Hopewell being pre-COVID at 830 average per day from March 4th to March 11th. And then in his discussion at the last board meeting, he used numbers of 400 and 500, 5 miles over the speed limit. So there's definitely double the numbers almost that were discrepancy.
Okay, so what should be clarified is the dates in
Which-
which those
which
numbers were gotten?
Yeah.
What the report was created?
Yeah, so he had given them numbers pre-COVID versus, and they had got numbers after, and I assume that pre-COVID was the one that was no different than after. So they want some clarification on that. The second one was I had talked to Luke prior to the meeting today about the Applecross basins. Luke hadn't had an opportunity to check his voicemails, but I also wanted to follow up on the dewatering issues with the basins. And I know that we didn't see anything come across from the Applecross, but I wanted them to be aware that you're going to be talking to our engineers tomorrow on that. That's all. That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay. George, anything, or anyone else?
I don't have any, comments.
I do have an update, actually, that I wanted to talk to you guys about. They're regarding the Carlino East Brandywine project. There has been, they're behind in their escrow. They've been behind in their escrow. They're disputing the bills. We have seen them, the disputes. However, during the dispute, the NPC lays out a process that, for this process to happen and occur, and they still are in violation. They have not been paying for reimbursement fees. So I would like to talk to the board about, declaring Carlino's Brandywine to be in breach of the MOU. So I wanted to see what you guys thought. From what I've gathered, they've been in a negative balance pretty much the entirety for the last 3 years. And I don't think the taxpayer should have to continue to pay this burden. So I don't know, Kyle or, George, if you guys have anything to say about that, or?
Well, it sounds like there clearly are in breach of the MOU. Right now, do we know what the escrow balance is right now?
Well, the negative balance is about $46,000 between the two escrow accounts, but that doesn't include a lot of charges that have not been.
There's a lot of outstanding charges that haven't been addressed.
So, Kyle, what do you have? Do you have anything to add to that?
I'm going to stay out of this one. I haven't been included in the dealings on this issue the last 6-8 months, so I feel as though right now I can't give you any insight into anybody's error right now, to be honest with you. And I would assume that this would have been something you would talk to your special counsel on, correct?
No, well, it's not my special counsel, it's the Township special counsel, but,
Well, the one you elected. Do you guys speak to the special counsel about this?
as far, well, they're the ones that advise that they're in breach of the MOU, yeah.
So say, all right, back up. Did you talk to the special counsel about this as an agenda item tonight?
No.
So you thought it was a good idea to talk about it?
This has been an ongoing.
Kyle, this is not a new issue. Apparently, since 2017, charges haven't been paid. And our township manager did nothing about it. Didn't request to increase the escrow amount and didn't deal with the charges that weren't being paid. So this has been long going. It's gone on way too long. We've given them every chance since
If it's gone on way
2017.
too long, why are we just hearing about it now?
Well, I had asked about the escrow balance, and they said that they weren't paying our bills anymore because they were giving us letters of dispute, and we had to adjust it.
You've seen a letter from them that says we're not paying these charges?
I don't discuss the legal proceedings at a township meeting. I was simply just asking what brought this on today. That's all.
Well, this has been an ongoing issue, ongoing concern of mine since I've been a supervisor.
And it's time to deal with it. We can't let this continue to go on and on and on.
Well, I mean, I'd like to make a motion to, in regard to the memorandum of understanding entered into August 20th, 2014 between East Brandywine Township, Carlino, East Brandywine. That the township considers Carlino, East Brandywine in breach of its obligations under the terms of this agreement.
And I would like to just check. I would like to double check though. You did talk to your counsel before making this tonight, correct?
Did I speak to counsel?
Did you speak to counsel before making this decision tonight? Yes.
Kyle, we're making a decision as a board. I'm bringing it up as something that I wanted to talk about. So
Yeah, you
really
wanted to talk about it. That's why we have solicitors. That's why I'm asking. Did you speak to the solicitor about making your recommendation tonight? That's all. It's a simple question.
Yes,
You did.
of course, of course.
Okay, so did both of you speak to the solicitor today?
No,
So George, you haven't spoken to the solicitor about this decision?
No, a decision is being made now.
Yeah. Did you talk?
Okay, it's brought up today. It's being brought up today to discuss and make a decision because this thing has been going on forever and it has to be dealt with.
Thank you. I've been here for 5 years. I know how long it's been going on. You've been here for 6 months.
Well, why didn't you do something about it? Why didn't you do something?
Mr. Sherbeck, I'm simply asking you a question. Did you or did you not
Well,
talk to
and
get
I'm
the...
asking you a question too. You gonna
I'll
answer my question?
I'm happy to answer your question once you answer mine. Did you or did you not talk to counsel before making this decision tonight? Yes or no? Simple.
No, I didn't speak to counsel.
So you're going off of
And
Jason's
I'm
advice.
asking you, wait, you said you would answer my question now. Why didn't you do anything since 2017 on this matter?
How do you know I didn't? That's the best part of this, George. You haven't been around. We've had plenty of
I've
discussions.
been around. I've been at public meetings.
You've been to 5 public meetings in 6 years. Stop the nonsense.
You know what? You are full of shit.
all right, well, we're gonna move on now.
You've been counting.
Okay.
well,
6.
I did see that there's a second. Kyle, what do you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Okay. I got 2 things. One, I've got Eagle Scout candidate Tyler is now available to present on his Scout project, and 2, I'm not sure what the motion was that just got a second and was approved.
I'm not sure they know either.
Well, let's
The motion
this is for
was
the-
to, would you like me to repeat it?
Well, I just wanted, we're recording this and we're broadcasting live, and we have a secretary who is out due to illness and will be taking the minutes based on the video. I'm
Okay.
not sure I heard a motion. Could someone, as just a courtesy to the minute taker, restate what the motion was?
The motion was to, regarding the memorandum of understanding that the township had entered into with Carlino East Brandywine in August 20th, 2014, the township considers Carlino in breach of their obligations under the terms of this agreement.
And
Okay.
I would preface 2 supervisors, not the township. You're speaking for the entire township. So I would clarify.
What do you think a board of supervisors is? We are the township's voice. There's 3 of
Gentlemen,
us.
I did not intend to reopen wounds. I just wanted
I
to
know.
clarify
Let's
for the
move
record
on.
what the
Let's
motion
move
was.
on for a second. Go ahead.
Tyler, could you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I know you're on a short timeline.
Thank you. Sorry for not being able to get on earlier. Would you like me to present my screen to give you my presentation?
Yes, if you're able to do so, I would appreciate that.
Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'd first like to start off by introducing myself. I'm Tyler Winterbottom from Troop 8. I'm a Life Scout currently, and I'm trying to get my Eagle Scout. And this is my presentation for my Eagle Scout project. Why I chose the East Brandywine Community Park? It's because I live very close to it. It's somewhere that my troop goes often. I walk my dogs around the park sometimes. And it's a very nice park, and I'd like to help maintain it and keep it that way. What my project is, my main goal with this project is to refurbish all 12 of the cans around the pavilions and the park. As you can see, they're not in the best shape as of currently, and I'd like to sand them down and repaint them. Biggest part of the project will be painting them all one uniform color, either a dark green, blue, or black paint, so they're all just the same. The second goal is to anchor each of the trash cans so they cannot be moved by the park goers. And my final goal is to add handles to each can for the convenience of every person. This is what the sort of handles style I was looking at. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think it's a great idea.
Tyler, I'd like to add that you made the same presentation to the Parks and Recreation Committee, and they voted to.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that last part.
I just wanted to say that to add to your presentation, that you made the same presentation to the Township's Park and Recreation Committee, and they voted to recommend your project to the Board of Supervisors. Just the record there.
That's a great job, Tyler.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. So I think it,
Which color, though, are you going to go with?
yeah. So Tyler would be looking for a motion to support his project and to allow him to do the restoration on the mini containers in the community park.
I'll make a motion to permit Tyler to rehabilitate the 12 trash cans in the East Brandywine Park with the lids.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Tyler, for thinking of that. We think it's great. It's going to make the park look even nicer. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
And I'm sure there's a merit badge in American democracy that you earned this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
You too.
Look, was there any other comment on non-agenda items?
We've had a pretty extended period where individuals could have got my attention. I think it's safe to say that no one has asked for me to unmute their microphone, and therefore there's no comment on non-agenda items.
Okay. I also wanted to talk to the board about the recent development in the current HOP appeal for the same project, the Carlino East Brandywine project. PennDOT had issued a supplement to the permit application where it has been determined that and confirmed that the applicant or the township or PennDOT does not own all of the right-of-way necessary for the construction of the project, and that they will not issue the permit or allow work to commence until a small strip of land is deeded over to PennDOT for the use by the public for transportation purposes. And with this being said, at this point, the plan is essentially unbuildable. We can't issue permits for projects to develop on land that's not owned by the applicant. And I wanted to talk to you guys about, what do we do? I mean, do we, at this point, one of our SAUDA requirements, section 350-20-22 plan amendments, says that if there's a major modification of the approved plan as determined by the township, shall be resubmitted and reprocessed in the same manner as the original plan. All site disturbance activities shall cease pending approval of a modified plan. So at this point, be the resolution to return the condemned land not necessary for the road that's gonna affect their planning module, and certain, most likely the NPDS permit, as well as the latest development that there is no full site control. I think the township, I think we need to basically bring the plan back and have it resubmitted and re-reviewed as as a new plan, because they don't have everything. I mean, it's not there. I want to know what you guys' thoughts were. Kyle, George.
I think my opinion is we have solicitors that handle this, and for you to come at the 11th hour and throw all this in at once, I think it's ludicrous. That's my opinion. So I would say at this point, I say we do nothing until this solicitor that we have hired and pay money to look into these addresses this to the board and not to just one said member. That's my opinion. That's my discussion.
Well, that's what they did though, Kyle. We had said that I was going to be the point person for this project and then come to the board for direction, and I'm coming to the board for
If it came from the solicitor, I would take it as a little bit more viable. And that's, I'm getting hearsay from you.
Okay, well, not hearsay, I'm telling you. So, okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion to have the plan determined. It has to be resubmitted and reprocessed in the same manner as the original plan due to the major new developments with the modifications of the plan that they do not have site control for all land.
I guess I just have a question in terms of, do we have the letter from PennDOT that indicates that?
Yes. Yeah, it was forwarded to Luke this afternoon, to me this morning. I actually have it right here if you want to take a look.
And Luke, you have the letter too? You have the letter?
I don't know where Luke's at.
Yes.
You have the letter?
Yes.
Okay.
And Luke, what's your opinion on this, being the township manager?
Well, I don't know. I'm in a difficult position for two reasons. One of which is a lot of matters pertaining to legal strategy. It's not appropriate to discuss in a public session.
Agreed.
So I'm going to use as general language as I can, and it's going to sound a little ignorant, but bear in mind I'm trying to respect the line between strategy and the public information related to this case. The last time the Board of Supervisors considered consolidated preliminary and final plan approval was in June of 2019. That plan received approval by a 2-to-1 vote. The adjoining property owners, Brandywine Village Associates and L&R Partners, appealed that decision first to the Court of Common Pleas, and later appealed the Court of Common Pleas decision further to the Commonwealth Court. That appeal is not resolved. So I am reluctant to direct the board to take any action regarding that 2019 plan approval pending a decision by the Commonwealth Court. What Chairman Winters is referring to is an outcome of another parallel legal matter, and that is an administrative challenge to the applicant's highway occupancy permit. So the correspondence that's been referenced, the letter from PennDOT, is an outcome of that administrative appeal. And it does seem that PennDOT has a substantial concern about having possession of sufficient land for the deceleration lane, and that may imperil the applicant's highway occupancy permit. I suspect my recommendation would be that the board let both of those legal matters play out and not take an official action this evening. That a fair summary?
Yeah, and I would agree with you 1,000%.
Well, Well, I actually disagree a little. I agree with your concept, Luke, but unfortunately though, how can a township, how do we let something play out that we know we have right here that doesn't meet our ordinance? We can't really let it play out to see, we're supposed to, in fact, notify the courts of new developments that could alter the outcome. And our ordinance actually allows that to happen. So I don't think that to let something play out is essentially what we've been doing for years and years and years. And, I'm just gonna go by the advice of our solicitor. So, special counsel and the direction that they have indicated.
So if this is such important advice, why wouldn't it go to the full board? Why would it go to just one person? It makes no sense.
Talking about it right now, Kyle.
Yeah, with one person speaking to the township solicitor.
You don't show up at executive sessions. You pick and choose what emails you want to read. If you want to voice your concern, that's fine. I'm going to make my motion, and if it goes through, it goes through. That's all. So if
I
you
just
want to voice your concern,
prove my point, that's all.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion.
But let me just couple questions say. So basically PennDOT has said there's a sliver of land that everybody thought prior to this point was owned and deeded over.
Yes. Basically,
And now PennDOT has finally come to a conclusion that there's a piece of land that can't go in accordance with the plan that has been filed by Carlino. They don't have that land.
They don't own that land. It's owned
Right.
It's owned by someone else.
So basically, the plan was based on them owning the land in order to go forward with the project.
Yes.
And council has told us, two things. One, does this get shot to the court system as a new piece of evidence that's involved in current litigation? Does this get forwarded to them?
I would assume that's what
Okay.
the direction would be.
And then secondly, our council has advised us that we should, based on this new information, reject the plan that's in effect right now, or what?
You can't issue, what's going to happen is you can't issue a building permit. They're going to come and they're going to apply for a building permit, and they don't have full control of all the land necessary. You can't approve a plan, can't approve a permit that
They don't have, right,
Yeah.
they don't have the
It's
land.
eventually going to just stop in its tracks, so
Right.
it's a kind of
And the old plan was approved based on everybody thinking that they had this land.
it was the applicant who,
Right.
their engineer who did the drawings and sealed them, and they had it incorrectly, the area, they're not the full area that was
Okay.
required.
So nobody knew about a mistake was made,
Correct.
and this is an opportunity to rectify that mistake.
Well, yeah.
Because new evidence has come up that nobody owns this land, or,
Yeah, this is new, this is something that just is coming up,
Right.
just came up now, so,
okay.
that's essentially what it is, so.
If our solicitor has recommended that that's what we do, then
Okay.
make the motion.
I'll make a motion, according to Saldo 350-22 plan amendments, that the board will consider, that this application of Carlino East Brandywine's plan, currently final plan approval, has enough change to trigger that we would like to have it resubmitted and reprocessed in the same manner to make sure that it meets all of our ordinances moving forward.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
All right, is there any other public comment on non-agenda items?
I have none.
Okay. Then, there's no notices, and do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.